Hey, real estate investors. Today, let's talk about one thing. Can you, in Pennsylvania, transfer your deed from in your name to an LLC? Would the mortgage company have a problem with that? Let's talk about it. So one of the things we often hear is, and maybe there's other states that allow this, but in Pennsylvania, there's what we call a transfer tax. Now, you can easily transfer a name. So let's say you buy a property in your name and you decide you want to now transfer it over to LLC to give you some sort of asset protection because some guru told you to do that. Now, in the state of Pennsylvania, you can absolutely do that. Now, some states will allow you to do what they call a quick claim deed, and then you can quick claim it over right into the LLC. Now, if the mortgage company doesn't like it, they could potentially come back and call the loan due because now it's no longer owned by you, it's now owned by the LLC. Now, a lot of times that doesn't happen. The lender may not say anything, and you're fine. But in Pennsylvania, you can do a quick claim deed as well, but Pennsylvania has what we call I love my taxes government, and the government wants their taxes on every transfer of deed. So what does that mean? So when you close your property, or when you move your property from your LLC to your name, you're going to have to pay the transfer tax. Now in the state of Pennsylvania, that's 2%. Now in some areas like Reading City, they're 5% total. Now, most of the time when you buy a property, you split those transfer taxes. The buyer pays half and the seller pays half. But if you are the buyer and the seller, in this case, transferring from your name to an LLC, you pay the full percentage. Even Philadelphia has a higher percentage, but in general, it's 2% across everywhere else in Pennsylvania. So now, not only do you have the transfer recording fees and everything else from the quitclaim deed, but you also have that 2% tax that you're going to also have to pay. Now, that could come in different ways, and they're going to look at it in different ways, but in general, they're going to want, if you buy a house for $100,000, the value of that house, it's going to cost you $2,000 just for the transfer tax. Then you have all your other fees and from the title companies and all that stuff to transfer that over. Or if you do it yourself, however. But there's going to be fees, recording fees, and so forth there. So my recommendation, if you're going to buy a property in an LLC or in your name, do it with the intent that that's where it's going to stay. Don't in PA, unless you're okay with that, paying that extra fee. And if you are, just take into account, you're going to pay 2.5% or so to maybe 3% to get that and make that happen of the value of that property. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about transferring the deed.